Is love still real when it becomes public entertainment? Because what happens when a marriage stops being private and starts being a global discussion? When every argument, confession, and emotional wound becomes content for millions to analyze. That is exactly the situation surrounding Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. A relationship once admired as Hollywood royalty, now one of the most debated partnerships in modern celebrity culture. But the real question is not just what happened between them, it's this. Did fame save their relationship or slowly turned it into public entertainment? For years, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were seen as the definition of a strong Hollywood marriage, a successful actor, a respected actress, a family admired around the world. From red carpet appearances to interviews, they built an image of unity, strength, and longevity in an industry where relationships often collapse under pressure. But behind that polished image, cracks were slowly forming. Not in one dramatic moment, but over years of shifting emotional boundaries, evolving personal identities, and growing public curiosity. And the world didn't fully notice until the conversation moved from private life to public confession. That's when everything changed. The turning point didn't come from paparazzi photos or leaked scandals. It came from conversation, public conversation. Through interviews and personal revelations, Jada Pinkett Smith began openly discussing deeply personal aspects of their relationship. She spoke about emotional separation, personal healing, and periods where the relationship looked very different from what the public assumed. And this is where things became complicated, because for many people watching, this wasn't just a celebrity marriage anymore. It became a case study. A real-time exploration of love, boundaries, and modern relationships under extreme fame. And while some people admired the honesty, others felt uncomfortable. Because once private struggles enter public space, they stop being just personal healing and start becoming global debate material. One of the biggest topics that emerged from public discussions around their relationship was the idea of openness and non-traditional structure. The phrase open marriage began circulating heavily online. Although the couple's exact private boundaries have always been more nuanced and personally defined, the public interpretation turned into something much larger. It became a symbol of modern relationship confusion, a symbol of emotional transparency, and for some, a symbol of breakdown. At this point, Will Smith was no longer just a global movie star. He became the center of a worldwide debate about masculinity, emotional restraint, and relationship expectations. And every new interview, every clip, every comment added another layer to the public narrative. A major part of this entire conversation came through Red Table Talk. The show was designed as a space for open, honest conversations about life, healing, relationships, and truth. But over time, it became one of the most influential platforms shaping public perception of their marriage. Because unlike traditional celebrity interviews, this wasn't controlled press messaging. It was personal, emotional, raw. And that's exactly why it went viral. Millions of viewers tuned in not just for entertainment, but for answers. And slowly, a private marriage became a public narrative that the world felt involved in. But there's a deeper question here. When does honesty become oversharing? And when does healing turn into public consumption? The reason this entire situation resonates so deeply with people is not just because it involves celebrities. It's because it reflects modern relationships in general. Today, relationships are no longer fully private. They exist on social media. They exist in interviews. They exist in comment sections. And once something becomes public content, it stops belonging only to the people in it. In the case of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, the world watched a powerful truth unfold. Love, in the public eye, carries a different kind of pressure. Every silence is interpreted, every statement is analyzed, every emotional moment becomes evidence for strangers trying to understand a relationship they are not part of. And that kind of pressure can distort even the strongest emotional bonds. Some people believe their story represents growth and evolution, a modern relationship that doesn't follow traditional rules, but instead follows personal truth. Others believe it represents emotional misalignment, where boundaries between private healing and public storytelling became too blurred. But regardless of perspective, one thing is undeniable. This is no longer just a relationship. It is a cultural conversation. So here's the real question. Do you think relationships should evolve beyond traditional boundaries if both people agree? Or do you believe love only survives when privacy, structure, and clear boundaries are protected? Because depending on who you ask, this story is either about freedom or a warning. And what makes this story even more interesting is that we've only seen one layer of it. Behind every public confession, there are private moments we will never fully understand. And in the next video, we'll break down another celebrity relationship that sparked even more controversy and divided the entire internet. Because in Hollywood, love is never just love. It's a story the world thinks it owns.